Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
So the Mets brought out the brooms and put the finishing touches on a 4-game sweep of the St. Louis Cardinals this weekend at Citi Field. And it was nothing but positives all throughout this series. So today we're going to go through it all and talk about the red hot New York Mets. But before we do that, guys, I am Tony Metro. If you're a Mets fan, you got to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do daily New York Mets content. You can also find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Be sure to leave this video a like and turn channel notifications on so you know when I posted my latest stuff. So it was truly a fun weekend in Queens as the Mets returned home and welcomed in a team that entered the series at 500 but sent them packing quickly. So let's get into it. In Game 1, the Mets got a great start from Griffin Canning, 6 innings of 1-run ball, and the Mets offense did just enough. Mark Vientos with his first bomb of the year, Brett Baty an RBI double, and Francisco Lindor with a 2-run base hit, as well as the Mets had a nice, tidy 4-1 win. Friday was a nail-biter, a back-and-forth affair where the Mets trailed 2-0, then 3-2, and then led 4-3 before Huascar Brazoban let up a game-tying homer in the 9th, but not to worry, as Francisco Lindor delivered the decisive blow, a walk-off homer in the bottom of the 9th to send Mets fans into hysterics. On Saturday, the Mets got another brilliant performance from Kodai Senga. He goes 6.2 innings of scoreless ball, and the Mets offense did enough thanks to an RBI knock from Juan Soto and RBI double from Pete Alonso, who then would outdo himself a solo blast in the 8th for some insurance as the Mets shut out the Cardinals 3-0. And then Sunday, the Mets got off on the right foot with Francisco Lindor hitting a leadoff homer to open the scoring. The second bomb of the series, Juan Soto and Pete Alonso would add RBIs. Clay Holmes was money going 6 innings, allowing just 1 run on 4 hits. Part of that because of this brilliant home run robbery from Brandon Nimmo in the 5th. But the Mets pen let the Cards tie this up at 3-3. That was until Nimmo coming up clutch again with the go-ahead RBI single before Tyrone Taylor and Juan Soto would add some insurance in the 8th as the Mets finish off the sweep of the Cards by a final of 7-4. So the first time the Mets have swept a 4-game series from the St. Louis Cardinals since 1986. Good omen there, right? As they improve to 15-7 and take a 2-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies in the NL East. But let's get into the numbers from this series. Mets starters were unbelievable again. The top staff in Major League Baseball continues to get the job done. They combined for 23 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 27 strikeouts compared to 6 walks. That is good for a 1.95 ERA. They lowered their already league-leading earned run average, and what can you say? This rotation has taken the ball every 5th day, even when the lineup hasn't been fully locked in and delivered, as they've kept the Mets in ball games. I don't think there's any other part of this team you can credit more for where they are at this point in the season than the starting rotation. The Mets bats still trying to find their full groove. I believe they did take some steps forward this weekend. They scored 19 runs over the 4-game series. So let's take a look. Lindor finishes 7 for 18 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs in the 4-game set. And then Juan Soto maybe breaking out of it. A few clutch hits in this series. He ends up 5 for 12 with 5 ribbies. And then Pete Alonso 4 for 15, his lone home run and 3 RBIs. And shout out to Mark Vientos, who hit his first 2 home runs of the series. Obviously, he left Saturday's game with an injury and did not play on Sunday. Hopefully, he's okay. Luis Angel Acuna also going to get some credit here. He finishes the series 3 for 7 despite starting only in 2 of these. He also added 2 runs and a stolen base. He's quietly brought his batting average up to 289 and OPS to 760. And finally, the relievers, the Mets pen turns in another solid performance this weekend. A few little anxiety-inducing moments along the way, but overall, they get the job done. In summation, I would say still a quality series for the pen. They combined to go 13 innings, giving up 4 runs with 16 strikeouts as compared to 6 walks. That's good for a 2.95 ERA. That's going to get the job done more times than not. Outside of the minor blemishes from Buteau, Young, and from Brazoban, I think another really impressive job by the bullpen this weekend. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Has Juan Soto broken out of it? Is the Mets rotation able to continue their early season success? And what do you think about this upcoming Mets and Phillies series? Guys, that's it for now. I'm Tony Metro. Until next time, stay true to the orange and blue.